A three-judge panel of the U.S. Supreme Court just finished hearing arguments on whether former President Donald Trump is immune from prosecution for trying to overturn the 2020 election. Mr. Trump, who attended today's hearing, faces charges that were filed by special counsel Jack Smith. His lawyers say his efforts were within his official presidential duties and therefore he has immunity. Trump spoke about the case moments ago. Here's what he had to say.
Well, nothing has to do with after I left. It was during the time, and that was what they really focused on today during the appeal. And they concede that, and everybody concedes that, and if it's during the time, you have absolute immunity.
Well, this is make or break in this interference case, really, if you take a look at it. And CBS News correspondent Scott MacFarlane is joining us live from the courthouse now. Scott, I'm wondering, since you're there, what's your big takeaway from today's hearing?
Good morning. It was clear the three appellate judges had some questions and expressed some skepticism about this claim from the former president that he enjoys and is shielded by presidential immunity in his election conspiracy case. And one of the judges, a appointee of President Biden, raised some rather provocative lines of questioning during this argument, saying, what if a future president hires a SEAL team to kill his biggest political rival? What if a future president tries to sell pardons? Would that president be immunized from prosecution under this argument? And Trump's lawyer made an equivocal answer, saying if and only if he's convicted in an impeachment trial can he be charged with a crime. It's one of the issues these judges are going to wrestle with as they determine whether this immunity exists.
Yeah, and special counsel Jack Smith sought to ask the Supreme Court to weigh in on his argument of absolute immunity, but the justices declined to weigh in. So if Trump loses this round, what options does he have from here?
I think no matter who loses this round, they're going to go back to the Supreme Court and ask the Supreme Court to weigh in. That could eat up some more time, especially if the Supreme Court agrees to hear arguments. Jack Smith was in the room today. Former President Trump was in the room today. And I'll note this. His attorney invoked a lot of the language Trump uses on the stump, questioning President Biden's handling of the border, questioning former President Clinton's handling of pardons, and saying that Trump, said this to the judges, is the clear leader in all the polls.
I mean, substantially. He's pulling away from a number of his rivals there. The former president's legal team, though, has repeatedly tried to delay proceedings across these four criminal indictments because even though he's at the top, there's still, many different court cases as this election's happening. Does the federal case, which Jack Smith is aiming for a March 4th start date, look like that will stay on track? Because that can have implications with Super Tuesday.
That's why this is so important. These three appeals court judges could hold the fate of that March 4th trial date in their hands. If they quickly rule and let this go back to the trial judge and the Supreme Court doesn't intervene, that March 4th trial date could happen. A former president in a courthouse in front of a jury the day before Super Tuesday, a day in which he's expected to roll to victory. But if the appeals court delays, takes more time, or rules against Jack Smith, that trial date could vanish into thin air.
All right, Scott MacFarlane, so much to unpack. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
CBS News Los Angeles, your local news, streaming wherever, whenever.